Who would have thought it would be while I'm screaming the tits of a 250 across around a bend in the Dandenong Ranges. It's spiritual. Yo, what is up guys? Today we're going to be reviewing a Suzuki GSX250F Across. So this is going to be my first impression of the bike. I have not really done any research on it, nor have I ridden it before. So you guys get to see it as I experience it. Oh my god, just listen to that thing. 7,000 RPM and it's just chillin'. Anyways, this is somewhat of an exciting review for me, and that is because my very first bike was a Suzuki GSX250V Bandit. So a Japanese 250 4-cylinder from the 90s made by the same manufacturer. Kind of going back to my roots by riding this one. So the thing is, as we march further and further away from the 90s, these 250cc sports bikes, the 4-cylinders in particular, they all kind of get bundled up into one category. At the top of that category is arguably the Honda CBR 250RR. There is a very small enthusiast market for bikes that are from the 90s, that are Japanese, that are 250cc 4-cylinders, that aren't the 250RR. You know, you go on YouTube and you see countless MC22 reviews, and honestly I was struggling to find even one half-decent review of this bike. So I thought, what the hell, let's do it some justice. But you guys can hear it. I remember down this exact straight, I also unwound the 250 Bandit and was experiencing a very similar feeling. How joyous it is to be able to actually use the entire RPM range without worrying about killing yourself or losing your license. It's quite liberating. So let's put some respect on the 250 Across name. First up, let's talk about power. Now this is a 250cc. It hasn't really got much, but what's exciting about this motorcycle is the way it delivers that power and the drama surrounding it. It already has a disadvantage, especially in today's learner market where most people in Australia, you know, they start at bare minimum an R3, you know, a 320cc. So already this is showing its age in terms of its power, but what it does have is spirit, and I do discuss that in one of my previous videos. Oh my god, just listen to it scream. It does it in such a safe, chill, responsible fashion too, because let's be real, it's not going anywhere. It's a 250, and that makes for an incredible ride, especially out here. God damn, listen to it. My heart is genuinely full of joy right now. This is not an experience you can get on a modern 250 or even anything like, you know, an R3 or a Ninja 400. They just don't make them like this anymore. You cannot find a 4-cylinder 250 in today's market in Australia. I know Kawasaki released the ZX25R over in the Southeast Asian market, but we don't get that over here. It's truly a beautiful experience, and I'm extremely lucky that that's what my first bike gave me, and I'm extremely lucky that I get to ride this today and experience that again. So this bike is tiny. Again, it's a 250. Like, I feel like I'm on a BMX bike. The seat is so low to the ground. I've got a set of clip-ons on this bike, but that being said, they're fairly digestible, they're raised, they're nothing too aggressive, because at the end of the day this is a sport tourer. So it still gives you a taste of what it's like to ride a sports bike, but without the pain in the wrists and the back. And that's what a sports tourer does. I will say the brakes on this are pretty abysmal. Like the Ninja 400 or the Yamaha R3 or most other small CC learner bikes out there, this has a single rotor up the front, but unfortunately it doesn't stop as well as, you know, I'd say my 400 or my R3 does. But I'll give it a pass. Like, this bike is literally 30 years old as of this year. Oh, this is incredible, man. This feels like something out of a movie. Riding through these roads with sunlight pouring through the trees. on this small displacement 4-cylinder 90s Jap bike, screaming through the hills. What a beautiful thing. What a beautiful thing. So handling wise, it does the trick. It's so flickable, it's so lightweight, it's maneuverable. The brakes, you know, they leave me wanting. And to be honest, it is a bit low to the ground. You know, what makes it easy, what makes it digestible is unfortunately also what sacrifices some of that sporty aggressiveness. But again, this isn't meant to be a pure super sports. This is just a sports tourer, and it's not trying to be anything else. It's not pretending to be a naked bike. It's not pretending to be a super sport counterpart. Suzuki had those offerings up for grabs in the same era that they were selling this bike, so this bike didn't need to try and fill any other niches. You know, the Bandit, the GSX250V, that was the naked 4-cylinder 250, and then you had the GSX250R, which was the super sport 250 4-cylinder. And then this is your little sports touring version. And what's fascinating about this bike is that because of its status as a bit of a tourer, it has some interesting quirks. One that I had never seen before. When I saw this bike in person, I couldn't believe it when this tank actually lifted up to reveal the fact that it is not a tank, it's a storage compartment. Like, you can fit an entire helmet in here, which is why it's so good for touring. Okay, so as you can see, there's the on position, and beyond that, there is an extra step called open. So I turn the key and bang, look at that, you can fit a whole helmet in here. And if not, you can put your groceries, your luggage, whatever else you want. But this is more compartment space than I've seen on much bigger bikes. It's crazy. I personally have not seen anything like that before, and I think it's really cool. So how then do you get petrol into this bike? Well, you got to turn the key. I think that position right there says fuel. Someone correct me if I'm wrong. But you click that and boom, this pops open. Let me capture that. Oh, hell yeah, learner gang. That's awesome. Anyway, so I'm going to click it and look at that. That's so cool, and the petrol goes in there. If I had this, I wouldn't have to worry about carrying my backpack everywhere I go. And I'm not a huge fan of panniers or top boxes or anything like that. So this kind of setup would be ideal for me. It's so dramatic, man. Like, everyone within a 10-kilometer radius of you would think there is a massive hoon on the loose. No, it's just a tiny little 250 trying to make it to the speed limit. I haven't done my homework on this bike. It is a pure first impression, and I also understand that this is not exactly the cleanest example to base a first impression on, but I am loving this thing, man. This makes me feel incredible. You really don't feel like you can get into trouble on one of these. And with that liberty, that peace of mind, you can really begin to enjoy the entirety of this bike. Oh, it's amazing. Brakes, not so much. Man. This thing is so fun. It's ridiculous. I'm in love. This is beautiful. I think this bike would be perfect for beginners and experienced riders alike. Beginners, you have this incredibly digestible, easy to learn on, easy to ride sports bike that still has spirit to it, that still offers you a sense of thrill and joy once you've started honing your craft and started becoming more confident. Like, you're not going to get bored of this because it is so exciting. And they're really cheap because they are not a CBR 250RR, which is what anyone really seems to care about when you mention a 90s Japanese 250 4-cylinder. So you can really take advantage of the fact that this isn't one of those cult classic bikes and pay a really small amount to get your hands on one. Now the issue is, though, you can't just walk into your local Suzuki dealer and get parts for it. You will struggle. The aftermarket support isn't really there for these anymore either. And because of that, if you're getting spare parts, you're usually getting them off a donor bike, which is also 30 years old. But honestly, if you're interested in something dirt cheap, something so fun and exciting that it will blow your mind, and you don't mind getting your hands dirty, learning a little bit about the mechanics of a bike, then this is perfect for you. Like, it's a Japanese sports bike. This thing is like Lego. You can take it apart and put it back together by the time you've heated up a 3-minute cup noodle. It's incredible, man. Oh, listen to it. This thing was made for the hills. Fucking hell, man. This is nirvana. I've achieved enlightenment. Who would have thought it would be while I'm screaming the tits of a 250 across around a bend in the Dandenong Ranges. That's what this experience is, guys. It's spiritual. And the best part about it is it's so accessible. Anyone can obtain this. Anyone can ride one of these. You don't have to have years of track experience or road experience. You don't need to be on a 600 Super Sport or a liter bike. You've got it right here on one of these old 90s 250cc's. I think regardless of what you ride or what you're into, everyone should try one of these before they end their riding journey. And there you have it, guys. That is my first impression of a 1994 Suzuki GSX250F Across. Whew, what a mouthful. Thanks so much for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. I will catch you on the next one.
You say you got them guns, but I've never seen you